starting blocks. You'll see someone down on a dock who holds on to the very stern tip of the boat, and then the boats are put into perfect alignment with someone standing on the shoreline. But as you'll see, coxswain's got a hand in the air. I'm not sure that those hands are recognized anymore. Basically, the coxswain saying, hey, I need a little bit of time. I need to get my boat into position. And what you're seeing here is what's called sculling. So you have a person in a seat turn around and grab the other person's oar and scull it. So you see that 3-seat of the boat in front of us just sculling their boat right into perfect alignment straight down the course. And we do have a little bit of a breeze, really not much, but it does sometimes make aligning a little bit difficult. Whitney, you can probably speak to that much better than I can.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have a pretty tough crosswind, it can be a little bit of a challenge. Sometimes you have courses where you actually have to fit your bow ball into a little bucket in front as well. So you really have to keep an eye on your point, because you want to be ready to go at any time, because sometimes those refs or those officials will say, we are not recognizing hands, and whatever your position is, you're going. So you want to make sure that your bow ball is pointed straight down that line. And look, we're going to see it now.
All right, and on the screen right down the center, you're going to see lane 4, Michigan, coming off of the start. They've got UCLA and Orange Coast on either side of them. So we'll go ahead and give you the full lane assignments there. It's going to be Connecticut in lane 1, Virginia in lane 2, Orange Coast lane 3, Michigan in lane 4, UCLA in lane 5, and Orange Coast in lane 6. So we've got 2 Orange Coast boats. That looks to be the second freshman 8, maybe. I'm guessing that's what the 2F indicates. But I do know that one of the Orange Coast boats progressed out of the reps. So did Connecticut, which is a really difficult thing to have to do. Can you explain a little bit about what the reps mean, Whitney?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you go through the reps, it can be a little bit of a challenge because you're not really sure. You want that spot in the final so badly, and you want to keep progressing. So again, this race is a little bit tricky when we start talking about the progression system. So you want to make sure that you are getting through those reps, getting to the semis so you can make that grand final. So it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. You don't know exactly when you're going to race again. So you almost have to leave your crew, leave your energy all out on the line every time you go out. So it's almost like you have a few different finals. And here we go, coming into the final, the 500 meter mark. And we are going to give you a few margins here. Beautiful, right across the line, bow ball to bow ball, Orange Coast, followed by Michigan. And again, those are bow ball to bow ball, and we have 4 boats across right behind them.
And it does look like in the 3rd place position, it's going to be Connecticut in lane 1. They are followed closely by lane 2, Virginia, and then moving to the outside, UCLA, and then that second Orange Coast boat. So that was a little bit of a shot right at the 500. We're grateful to have that view. And for the next 500, we're going to be coming up to the 1,000-meter line. We'll see if we can get accurate depiction of what is happening. But basically, as we crossed over 500, it looked like Orange Coast in the lead just ahead of Michigan. Quite a bit can change here, especially with these novice 8s. There's a whole lot of excitement, a whole lot of aggression and power in these boats. And again, as we've learned over the weekend, we've got quite a few true novices out there where this is their first season of competition, their first season of training, a lot of really fresh athletes, and just excited to be able to see how this race progresses, because this is the future of their program. Orange Coast always very strong in the novice categories or the freshman categories.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more, too. A lot of these schools have a long legacy of very strong novice programs, and the beauty of novice rowing is it's kind of a wild card. Sometimes you get these teams that have a lot of walk-ons from high school or junior teams. Sometimes you have full boats of absolute new rowers, and so it makes it very exciting to get everybody in the mix together and kind of see who can throw down on race day. And as we start to make it towards the 1,000-meter mark, we're going to see if we have any more spread between these boats, if we can see any clear water between the leader and some of the trailing boats here. And it's looking like we have Orange Coast and Michigan still out front, sitting tall, looking good. They are used to these kinds of race conditions here, these afternoon-ish race conditions, little bit breezy. You know, it's not quite the afternoon yet, but we have a little bit of breeze coming in.
UCLA in the mix.
Following by UCLA. Here we have UCLA in the mix, so they have not lost it. Against Orange Coast College, they are going to challenge because UCLA too also used to conditions very similar to this. A little bit of breeze, racing a few boats across, so this should be pretty exciting.
All right, so looking at Orange Coast with that lead, not quite sure whether it's an open water yet, but it is looking like it's a very, very strong positioning for them coming into this third 500. Michigan just behind them. UCLA also in the mix out there. You can see UCLA second closest to the shoreline spectator area. They've got baby blue blades. They've not quite come into view on our screen yet, but they will here relatively soon. Orange Coast and that second Orange Coast boat, the 2F, I'm guessing second freshman 8, they are there against the shoreline. Those are your top 4 boats. Backing it up to the 5th place position, we're going to move back over to the inside. That is going to be Connecticut, and then finally Virginia. So a whole lot of action out there, a lot of spread between the top boats and the ones kind of taking up the rear here. But man, Orange Coast just looking really, really solid. And you can see them as in their bright white shirts. We've got some white blades with the orange blue stripe, I believe, and then Michigan behind them by a little bit of open water. So Michigan in the 2nd place position, looking at a lead over UCLA. UCLA looking at a challenge from the 2nd Orange Coast boat.
Yeah, and Orange Coast, again, coming into the last 250, and they are a program that practices down in Newport Beach, same water as UCI, those anteaters that we've seen out a few times. And the beauty of coast rowing here is they have a typically very strong finish. They look good, they're sitting up tall, they're very confident, they have a legacy to defend here, and they are not going to make it easy on these other crews that are chasing, but are not giving up. Look at these rates coming up here.
Oh yeah, this is a true sprint here by Orange Coast. The Pirates taking everyone captive on the water. Sorry, I had to say it. But Michigan behind them by a half a boat length of open water. UCLA coming into that bronze medal position, still in contact with Michigan, but not going to be quite enough to get into that silver medal position. But they will walk away with a medal. The Bruins, great regatta for them this weekend. And then the 2nd Orange Coast boat right here, 4th place. And then finally Connecticut along the far shoreline, and Virginia in 6th.
So again, as I've said before too, I have to commend these novice crews for how they are racing. They are racing way beyond their years, it looks like, with a lot of maturity. They look really